So this is to take your JPEGs into Adobe Capture and make some patterns. You made a motif in your software program. You exported it as a JPEG, and now it's time to put it into a pattern maker. So you should have them in your photos, and I just want to point something out. This was a motif I made, and I forgot to turn the bounding box off. And you can see it comes in as a JPEG with a black line. You're going to want to get rid of this. If you forgot to do that, you certainly can go and hit edit, and you can crop this so that you can actually crop off that line if you want to. Okay, so I don't want you to freak out that you have to do it all over again. But you want something that looks like this or this, right? One of those, no black lines, and that is your motif. Okay, then we're going to move on to Adobe Capture. If you haven't downloaded it, download it. It's free. And go ahead and open it up. Now, Adobe Capture, some of you already know, I'm already in the pattern mode. But if you wanted to, it takes a picture and it converts things into other things. So if I take a picture of my glass or my computer, if I'm making a three-dimensional like CAD material, it would make a material out of that. If I wanted to catch some type, I could use my handwriting here, and it would turn, let me just make this, it would turn it into an Adobe Capture typeface or type letters. If I wanted to do shapes, I could do that. Colors, it would make a color palette, depending on what's in my, I could choose, to go a red, right? So it's going to, I'm not going to go into all of these things. You can make brushes. I'm only going to talk about pattern. So obviously when you see this moving around, this is my computer screen, or actually it's my computer keyboard, and what a pattern it makes. And as I move around, you will see the different patterns. I have some pink plants over there that it would be making. So I don't want you to use your camera. I want you to bring in an image. So in the upper right-hand corner, there's the image import. So you click it. And then when it comes down, you go to your camera roll. That's why you need your motifs in here. So I'm going to use this one. And as soon as I bring it in, wow, look at this amazing pattern that's actually being made out of my letter forms. Now there's a couple different things on the left-hand side that I want you to experiment with. And then when you find some patterns that you like, you use the big circle on the right-hand side with the check mark, and you take a quote-unquote picture. It will go into your photo roll. So first of all, on the left-hand side, obviously the paint palette, it's in color. You could change it to grayscale, or you could make it just a black and white image bitmap and the more or less that you would include here. Obviously, we would like to stay in color, so please stay in color. We're supposed to be doing complementary, monotone. If you wanted to do grayscale, that would count as monotone, but I'd rather have you try to create your monotones in your motif, and or an analogous color scheme, which is really what this is about. Then the next one down, this is bitmap or vector-based artwork. Vector would use algorithms and make lines and points. And again, moving this up and down will give me more colors or less colors. Doesn't really, I mean, I don't have very many colors. This goes into if you're using an actual photograph, so it doesn't really matter. We're going to keep it low. I want to save them as vector. If you wanted to save them as bitmap, that's raster. Again, resolution dependent. Right? So let's make a bitmap. They will take up more space because they need to take up a lot more points, but let's use vector. When we go down here, the third one down from the top are your different pattern makers. So the first one is kind of like a hexagon. So it analyzes your motif and it starts to design a hexagonal pattern. Excuse me. Then the next one is kind of based on a square motif. So it turns it more into a kind of a pattern based on plaids, I would say, I'm going to guess, and grid design, right? Those stripes are coming through. Then it's diamonds. So you have something that's based on the diamond motif, and you can see it even makes the diamonds look more curvilinear. You also have another hexagon, but it's much more complicated, right? And you can't really change any of this. You just can choose one of these. And then lastly, it's just your motif, simple pattern. And you can add more colors or less colors, right? So it would be lovely. I want you to actually use the pattern maker, and we're going to take one of each, right? So again, you can move this bar up and down for more colors or less colors, but really, I'm going to just keep it at about 8 colors. So we're going to use the first one, and then we're going to take a picture. And you can move it back and forth. It gives you different patterns even more. I mean, this is endless, right? So now the black is getting involved here. I don't want any black. I kind of think that's kind of cool. The original one would be at 0. Okay. And then I'm going to hit save. It's making a high-res version, and it's going to save it. And then I want to send it by saving it, and it's saved. So for each one of these, you're going to have to do each one at a time because it doesn't bring you back to the same spot. So you want to go here. Let's choose the kind of grid and striped one. I'm going to hit the check mark. We could even fool around with this. Whoa, look at that. The diamonds are coming in there. Again, you could add in something. Do I want the black? You don't really have a choice if you want to have it be different than black. Or do you want to just kind of make it be 0? So if you can't get it back, you don't want it to make it look like it's a mistake. I'm going to just actually go for it. And then I'm going to hit save and hit save. Again, it goes. We're going to do it another one. Camera roll. Choose my motif. And we'll go to the diamond. Hit save. Again, play with this. Ooh, that's kind of pretty. And we'll hit save, save. We'll go back and choose your motif. And we want to use this last hexagonal, more complicated. This time I'm not going to touch it. I'm not spinning that thing, and I'm going to hit save, and I'm going to hit save again. So I'm going to hit the X in the lower right-hand corner, and I have my various patterns. And it's vector, bitmap, bitmap, bitmap. So sometimes it will allow you to save a vector. And if I didn't, the default is bitmap. So obviously the first time when I showed you vector, I made that choice. And then when I did not go back to choosing vector, it made a bitmap along the way. So how do we get these to our drives? All the patterns that you make, I want to have you put them in your drive. So go to the 3 dots on the right, and you're going to share them. Share to, and I think I have my drive up here. I do. There it is. So you could even select a folder if you want. I'm just going to throw them right on my drive to make it easy. Save is in the lower right-hand corner, and then upload is in the upper right-hand. They kind of make you dance a little bit there. So that's one. You could also save it to the camera roll, but we want to share it. We want to share it too. I want to go right to the drive. Here we go. Select the folder, my drive, save here, upload. So again, you want to do that for all of them. So now when we want to go look at our drive, my drive, and there they are. Pattern 2, pattern 3. You obviously will take all of these and put them right into your shared folder.